think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie and TV studio.
Go back to that 50 Cent post, because I'm going to tell you why 50 is literally is a diabolical genius.
The upcoming Netflix documentary series produced by 50 Cent is poised to be one of the most controversial projects ever to land on the platform. Titled Diddy Do It, the series delves deep into serious allegations surrounding some of the most influential figures in the music industry, including Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay Z Carter. The stakes are incredibly high, with both Diddy and Jay Z reportedly scrambling to block its release. Courtroom battles, cease and desist orders, and frantic legal maneuvers have all come into play, painting a picture of extreme desperation. But why are these two music moguls so determined to prevent the documentary's release? What secrets does it uncover that have them so terrified? Let's break it down.
Part of the indictment, that's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
Let's first examine the immediate fallout following the announcement of the documentary series. When 50 Cent revealed last year that he was working on a project exposing Diddy's alleged wrongdoings, many were skeptical. After all, 50 Cent has spent years trolling Diddy on social media, often mocking his lifestyle and reputation. However, things took a dramatic turn when the legal troubles surrounding Diddy exploded into the public eye. Investigations, lawsuits, and shocking accusations uncovered a hidden world that even hardcore hip-hop fans never saw coming. Now, with Jay Z's name dragged into the mix, the stakes have reached new height. The legal battle to suppress the documentary has become nothing short of intense. Both Diddy and Jay Z are reportedly filing cease and desist orders, attempting to block footage and interviews from being aired. Their legal teams are working around the clock, scrutinizing every detail of the series in hopes of finding a way to discredit it before it sees the light of day. Sources say that Jay Z's lawyers are particularly aggressive, arguing that the documentary infringes on his right to privacy and could cause irreversible damage to his public image. But this raises a critical question. If they have nothing to hide, why the frantic rush to stop it? The answer seems to lie in the content of the series itself.
Mogul Jay Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
The documentary is said to go beyond the headlines and dive deep into the shadows of the music industry, unveiling a web of questionable behavior and alleged exploitation. Sources close to the production claim it features interviews with former insiders, employees, and even alleged victims, painting a damning picture of what transpired behind closed doors. From secret recordings to lavish parties, the series promises to expose details that could tarnish the reputations of two of hip-hop's most influential figures. While 50 Cent has made no secret of his disdain for both Diddy and Jay Z, he insists his goal is to give a voice to those who have been silenced for decades. For Diddy, the stakes couldn't be higher. The allegations against him stretch over many years, with some claiming he abused his power in ways that crossed both ethical and legal lines. Despite his denials, the mounting accusations have cast a long shadow over his career, and with the documentary's release, that shadow could grow even darker. Early reports suggest the series features interviews with people who attended Diddy's infamous gatherings and witnessed things they say they'll never forget. These first-hand accounts are said to be chilling, adding a level of credibility that's hard to ignore.
With the decision, I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee.
Jay Z, on the other hand, is in a similarly difficult position. While he has long been recognized as a shrewd businessman and cultural icon, recent allegations have brought attention to parts of his past he may prefer to keep private. A bombshell lawsuit filed against him late last year accused him of being involved in troubling behavior alongside Diddy. Although Jay Z has strongly denied the accusations, calling them baseless and opportunistic, the timing couldn't be worse, with the documentary set to delve into their long-standing relationship. The mounting pressure on him is undeniable.
And energy, internationally, and 50 Cent and Jay Z.
What makes the situation even more intriguing is the complicated history between 50 Cent, Diddy, and Jay Z. The tension among these three isn't new, it's been simmering for years. 50 Cent has been vocal about his disdain for both men, often mocking them in interviews and on social media. But this rivalry goes beyond petty squabbles or industry competition. According to 50 Cent, his decision to create the documentary series comes from a desire to expose what he views as systemic abuse of power within the music industry.
So it's a huge difference in who we are with each other internationally. Let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there, because America can be purchased.
The potential fallout from the release of this documentary is enormous. Both Diddy and Jay Z have built their brands on images of success, innovation, and resilience. They aren't just musicians, they're moguls, philanthropists, and cultural icons. However, if the allegations presented in the docuseries prove to be true, everything they've worked for could come crashing down. Endorsements, business deals, and partnerships could be at risk, not to mention their legacies in an industry where reputation is everything. The stakes couldn't be higher. Then there's
everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now. Just flood it, put out a lot of music because 50 Cent is coming.
Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this saga is how it sheds light on the power dynamics within the music industry. For years, Diddy and Jay Z have sat at the top of the game, seemingly untouchable. They've weathered scandals, controversies, and rivalries, always emerging unscathed. But this time feels different. The documentary series represents a rare moment when the walls of celebrity privilege appear to be closing in, exposing the hidden layers of influence and control. For 50 Cent, it's a chance to finally level the playing field and challenge the dominance of these powerful figures.
Of international, you are like Flex here. I've always said that, I always felt like that, right?
While 50 Cent is undoubtedly enjoying the chaos, he's also facing his own set of challenges. Critics have accused him of using the documentary series to settle old scores, questioning whether his motives are genuinely altruistic. Others have pointed out his own involvement in past controversies, suggesting that his hands aren't entirely clean. However, 50 Cent remains unfazed by the criticism, insisting that his focus is on telling the stories that need to be heard. "Say what you want about me," he reportedly told a friend. "This isn't about me, this is about justice." As the release date for the documentary draws closer, the tension between all parties involved is palpable. Legal threats continue to fly back and forth, with both Diddy and Jay Z reportedly considering additional lawsuits to block the project. Meanwhile, 50 Cent stays defiant, teasing fans with cryptic social media posts and promising that the documentary will be worth the wait. "You think you've seen it all," one of his recent posts read. You haven't seen anything yet. The question now is whether the documentary will live up to the hype or if it will be buried under the weight of legal battles and industry politics. One thing is certain, the story has already captivated the public's imagination, sparking heated debates and endless speculation. As more details emerge, it's clear that this is just the beginning of what promises to be a long and dramatic saga.
For him, although interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence. But
the stakes are incredibly high, the allegations are shocking, and the players involved are some of the biggest names in the industry. But the question remains, will the truth finally come to light, or will those in power succeed in keeping it hidden? One thing is certain, this is a story that no one can afford to ignore.
With all the charges he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70, that's when they start talking about letting him come to a head.
The tension between Diddy, Jay Z, and 50 Cent is escalating to a fever pitch, and it's about much more than just a Netflix documentary series. The entire music industry, and perhaps even Hollywood, is holding its breath as these titans of entertainment find themselves locked in what feels like a battle for survival. But how did things reach this point? How did these former collaborators and so-called friends end up on opposite sides of one of the most scandalous sagas the industry has ever seen? The truth is, the history between Diddy, Jay Z, and 50 Cent is both were young, ambitious, and hungry for success in the 1990s as they built their respective empires. Diddy, with his flashy style and larger-than-life persona, was the face of Bad Boy Records, a label that dominated the charts with hits from artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Mace. Meanwhile, Jay Z, who came up through the grittier streets of Brooklyn, was carving out his own lane as the co-founder of Rockefeller Records. Together, they embodied the New York hustle, attending the same events, celebrating each other's wins, and occasionally collaborating professionally. By the early 2000s, they had become two of the most recognizable figures in the music industry, unstoppable forces who seemed to have the world at their feet.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
Even at the height of their friendship, cracks were starting to form behind the scenes. Whispers of jealousy and competition began to surface. Diddy's rise in New York had made him a household name first, but as Jay-Z's career skyrocketed, the dynamic between them shifted. Jay-Z wasn't just a rapper anymore. He was becoming a mogul, leveraging his music career to launch ventures in fashion and even sports management. While Diddy had always been recognized for his business acumen, many in the industry started to notice that Jay-Z's moves were...
They are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
As time passed, the public began to notice subtle jabs between Diddy and Jay Z. In interviews, Diddy would occasionally throw shade at artists who, in his words, forgot who paved the way for them. While he never named names, many assumed he was talking about Jay Z. Meanwhile, Jay Z, known for keeping his criticisms more veiled, began referencing his disdain for flashy businessmen in his lyrics, a line many interpreted as a dig at Diddy's over-the-top persona. Although the tension simmered beneath the surface, it never fully boiled over, at least not until 50 Cent entered the picture. 50 Cent's arrival in the early 2000s was like a wrecking ball crashing into the carefully curated world of hip-hop royalty. He didn't just want to succeed, he wanted to dominate, and he had no problem calling out anyone who stood in his way. His debut album became an instant classic, propelling him to the top of the charts and making him a household name almost overnight. But unlike Diddy and Jay Z, who at least tried to maintain a facade of diplomacy, 50 Cent thrived on chaos. He was brash, unapologetic, and absolutely ruthless when it came to his rivals.
You know what I mean? Like, not when a relationship like that. Like, they've been with each other. Look, I was an opening act for the Cash Money.
One of 50 Cent's earliest targets was Diddy, and he wasted no time making his feelings known. In interviews, he mocked Diddy's music, calling it soft and accusing him of being more concerned with his image than his artistry. But it wasn't just about the music. 50 Cent also took aim at Diddy's business. Suddenly, 50 Cent had a new target, and he wasted no time turning his attention to the Roc Nation founder. On social media, he began posting cryptic messages that seemed to imply Jay-Z wasn't as squeaky clean as he wanted people to believe. In one now-deleted post, 50 Cent wrote, "Where's Jay? He's been real quiet while this is going down. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?" The implication was clear. If Diddy was going down, Jay-Z wasn't far behind.
Nobody in control of me. Like, I do what I want to do. So, I'm deciding to f*** your life up.
The timing of 50 Cent's attacks couldn't have been worse for Jay Z, who was already facing increasing scrutiny over his alleged involvement in the same incidents that had landed Diddy in hot water. While Jay Z has consistently denied the accusations, the mere association has been enough to tarnish his carefully crafted image. For years, he's been seen as the ultimate success story, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most powerful figures in the world. But now, that image is being questioned, and it's clear that 50 Cent is relishing every moment of it. What's particularly fascinating about this feud is how it's forcing people to reconsider the relationships between these three men. On the surface, it might seem like just another celebrity clash, a battle of egos between larger-than-life personalities. However, when you dig deeper, it becomes clear that this is about much more than personal grudges. It's about power, influence, and the lengths people will go to protect their legacies. For Diddy and Jay Z, the stakes are incredibly high. Both men have built empires that extend far beyond music, and their reputations are critical to their success. If the allegations against them stick, it could spell disaster, not just for their careers, but for the entire network of businesses and partnerships they've spent decades building.
That's not really beef, though. That's just competitive energy.
Competitiveness. All right, so you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock with him
okay,
like that.
damn. All right.
Then there's 50 Cent, who seems to be playing an entirely different game. Unlike Diddy and Jay Z, he doesn't have as much to lose. Sure, he's a successful businessman in his own right, but his brand has always been tied to controversy. He thrives on being the outsider, the provocateur, the guy who isn't afraid to say what everyone else is thinking. For him, this feud isn't a liability, it's an opportunity. By positioning himself as the whistleblower, the one willing to expose the industry's darker side, he's not just taking down his rivals, he's cementing his own legacy as a disruptor. What makes this situation even more intriguing is the role public perception is playing. Social media dominates the conversation. The court of public opinion often holds more power than any legal ruling. Right now, that court is deeply divided. On one side are the fans of Diddy and Jay Z, who stand by their idols, insisting that the allegations are baseless and part of a larger plot to bring them down. On the other side are those who believe that where there's smoke, there's fire, and that these men, who have spent years portraying themselves as untouchable, are finally being held accountable.
Attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
The Netflix docuseries is only adding fuel to the fire. According to early reports, it doesn't just focus on the allegations. It also explores the broader culture of secrecy and complicity that has allowed powerful figures in the industry to operate unchecked for so long. For viewers, it's not just about Diddy and Jay Z. It's about what they represent. The series is expected to shed light on the systemic issues that have plagued the industry for decades, from exploitation to corruption and beyond. While 50 Cent has made it clear that he's not pulling any punches, he's also hinted that the series is about more than just tearing people down. "This is about justice," he reportedly said. "It's about giving a voice to those who've been silenced for too long." As the release date for the docuseries